A lot of people see characters with half-weight armor. I'm talking about they see characters that wear a lot of armor but also have a lot of skin showing. A lot of people wonder, what's the point of all this armor? Well, in Angela's case, sure, her armor does help her, but it's just really her physiology or durability that's just insane because she has an amazing healing factor. She can withstand absurd heats that other people can't take. She can even withstand stuff characters wouldn't be able to stand while she's completely uncovered. To get to certain armors that others aren't allowed to access, it proves that you're worthy of the armor if you can access it via her durability, even without nothing being on her. It's funny because only certain powerful characters like Angela can get particular gear that can counter Heimdall's all-seeing eye. And it's even said that those who can steal it have no need for it. Those who have need for it cannot steal it. That's why she's the perfect character for this armor. Not just anybody can getting in this heat. I hope you all enjoy this. There's no doubt that Angela has angelic strength. Look how easily she lifts up beds. I mean, just looking at her handbook, she's big, 6'2", 480 pounds. It's like she got that mystical weight, how Thor weighs more than what he looks like. Due to her Asgardian physiology, she obviously has superhuman strength. Let's talk about that. Bare minimally, we know she can lift 50 plus tons. This is an oversimplification because lower tier characters that are in class 10 can lift over thousands of tons and such, like I've talked about before over and over again on the channel. But bare minimally, lowballing it, we know that she can lift 50 plus tons. That pretty much means she shouldn't have no problem lifting up big military tanks above her head with her muscle with laughable ease. Why do you think she has the muscle to swing around large objects while in the middle of combat? She's not afraid to slice heads. Yeah, you're used to seeing her have slicing power, but yeah, she can just hit with blunt kicks, elbows affecting Asgardians, etc. The gear is just a bonus because you'll see her gear clash, and then she'll just pull out a straight up kick. With blades, she's hit all manner of creature, even if they're larger, hitting so hard, making shockwaves or craters in the ground. Any beast you put her across, there's clear evidence there's a weight behind her hits. No matter how you slice it, bye-bye Doombot. No head for you when she's working together with Blade, cutting beings in half, throwing her gear. It's consistent. Or use her gear in creative ways to play poker. Her gear or ribbons can withstand decent heat. She can hold on overpower demons with her gear, choke the monsters, hold the enemy in place with her ribbons. She's one of those characters that seems to enjoy fighting. I mean, let's just be honest. Without sugarcoating anything, her muscles can literally clash with the god of thunder himself, Thor himself. Not in Odin Force or nothing, but just base standard Thor, which is still impressive considering it's narrated that base old standard Thor can bench press small planets himself. So due to her physiology being very similar to Thor, which I'm going to bring up again later on in this video, I don't see no reason why she wouldn't be able to bench press small planets as well. Angela matching muscle with Thor is crazy, because we've literally seen Thor arm wrestle with the god of strength level beings like Hercules. These are beings, whether we're talking about Hercules or Thor, they're matching each other's muscle, so it don't really matter who I'm talking about because Herculean, Thor-ish type beings have the muscle to support infinite massive weights for 3 hours because, you know, this is the same guy Thor is arm wrestling. The Atlas duty feat lifting, you know, supporting immeasurable weight, infinitely massive weights, you know, that kind of thing. And when we see Angela match these kind of beings as muscle, matter of fact, in raw strength, she believes Thor has a slight edge in strength, meaning that the gap isn't that large in her personal opinion. And when you see the battle, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, she's clashing muscles with beings that can support infinite massive weights, but that's none of my business. We see her muscles clash with Thor here when he was unworthy with her muscle. So she's up there. We see her muscles clashing with Thor here, so you know she can lift a lot. But anyway, to get an understanding of her power, we gotta look at the being she's fighting. One of the best fighters in the universe, Gamora, we see her clash swords with, showing her wild experience being able to compete with Gamora. Power and skill feat, fighting the whole Guardians. I'm gonna get back to Gamora in a second, but you see her fighting more than just Gamora. I'm talking about more than one Guardian at the same time, partly her strength using her battle IQ in the process. With Drax, against Drax, you know, battling Gamora like this is something that you should not take lightly. It shows her durability because she's able to withstand hits from Gamora. You're probably thinking, why does that matter? Well, her fist fighting, slugfesting with Gamora this hard, and it's not an easy fight, says a lot about her because Gamora be hurting the most durable beings in Marvel, even though it doesn't make any kind of sense. It's like Gamora knows some ancient martial art that allows her to ignore durability because even if she lacks the strength, somehow her strikes are still able to damage some of the durablest characters in Marvel. But yet Angela can slugfest with her steel. This is the same Gamora that can miraculously damage and knock the wind out of She-Hulk tears, even though they're extremely durable. Even kicking her so hard to where She-Hulk goes the night-night, the weight of her kicks can do major damage to Captain Marvel Carol Danvers tier beings. With blunt kicks or blunt strikes, no weapons, Captain Marvel level beings can survive end of the world type of attacks, planet shattering type of attacks. Yet Gamora can do this, and guess what? Despite Gamora having this much weight behind her hits, even against powerhouses, none of this matters because Angela can compete with this level of power despite Gamora being able to hit this hard somehow. Angela simply rivaling Gamora implies planet-shattering type of level of power just from competing with her this well. I mean, what else would you call all of this? And not to mention they probably train together or some crap because they kind of cool with each other, fight together, go on missions together. So yeah, do we even need to get on Nova tiers and why Gamora being able to damage Nova level beings is absurdity? Yeah, I know it was Kid Nova. It shouldn't matter. Both are powerhouses. Kid Nova, Nova, they're both powerhouses with absurd durability. Just a friendly reminder that Nova level beings are durable enough can shield from attacks that can blow away multiple solar systems, y'all. So that's why Gamora damaging these beings and Angela stalemating these beings is absurd. This implies that Angela is also able to compete with beings on the power level or durability level, beings that can withstand suns exploding in their face, solar system destruction, that kind of thing. Basically what I'm saying, Angela being in an earth-shattering level of power is an oversimplification. She's competing with beings that can damage beings that can withstand suns exploding, solar systems exploding, that kind of thing, y'all, on how hard she can hit. Literally clashing swords with beings that can damage Planet Buster or above kind of beings. If you're still not convinced, look who she boxed with here. This being known as Scourge. This also shows that her durability is up to par too. She's getting hit by these bruisers and just bouncing back. It also shows her blades can damage Scourge, even pins him to the ground to where he's pretty much helpless. Scourge is an underrated bruiser who has titanic strength, even though I wouldn't necessarily say he's quite equal to Thor. I wouldn't say he's too far behind. He might be like 1/10 his strength or something, which is still impressive considering Thor can bench press planets and stuff. This is who Angela's getting punched by beings this strong, y'all. He's so strong to where this being Scourge can knock out beings like Thor with a sucker punch if you catch him off guard. You know you're strong when God of Strength level beings like Hercules himself say his grip is the mightiest he has known. Hercules says he has an unbreakable grip, y'all. This is coming from a guy that can lift the universe, infinitely massive weights for 3 hours, y'all. No, yeah, Hercules, yep. In Marvel, they have their little myth feats, relieving Atlas of his duty type feats. You know, the handbooks even talk about how Atlas has to do infinitely massive weights, hold the heavens themselves above his head. This is what Hercules has to do in his plays. Now you see why Hercules' word has a lot of weight, considering this being can literally lift the universe. This same being, Hercules, is the same guy that can shake the universe with his punches and such. That's why Hercules giving Scourge strength props is absurdity. That's why Angela getting hit by beings like Scourge is absurd. I mean, we're talking about the beings that can demolish planets with their punches. Beings like Hercules. Now you see why Angela doing this to Scourge is absurd. Hercules is out here comparing Scourge's strength to Thor, yo. Scourge is literally getting his strength complemented by beings that can shake the universe, and she's compete with Scourge. So what does this tell you? You know, it's pretty clear cut based on this scan. If you doubt Angela being in those Thor-centric kind of sort of Power Rangers, I mean, just look who her relatives are. It kind of makes sense for her to be this strong just from her physiology alone. Yeah, her strength on her power grid doesn't really give her much props, but I don't know if we should take that as Bible, considering narratively she's supposed to be kind of Thor-ish level, like we seen her fight Jane Thor in a clash of raw power, showing she's on par. Power. The kind of power we're talking about when it comes to these Thor level beings, even if we're just talking about plain old Jane Foster Thor, even characters that are not the OG Thor can hit hard enough to where it can shake planets that are half a universe away. You can produce blasts or shockwaves that can reach other planets half a universe away. Like, that's a lot of raw power. That would be enough to destroy multiple galaxies. And Angela's hits are competing with these galaxy buster, multiple galaxy type buster type beings with the weight of her hits. I'll let these panels speak for themselves. Do you think she's on par with them? Like, look at this. Telling me she ain't a beast. I don't want to glaze her, though. There's implications when she fought Thor, he was weakened or exhausted, you could say. It's even kind of mentioned here on how he's weakened, attacking before he's regained his strength. Put that in consideration. She's still pretty high end still, I would say still. Even if Thor got the advantage. Just in case you're one of those beings that think she can only hit hard because of her weapons. No, straight up blunt kicks. She can just straight up hit hard. Let these panels speak for themselves. The fight is kind of extended to where it's even kind of happening off panel and you see other characters spectating it. I do want to be clear though, it was implied that Thor was getting an advantage here. The way I look at it, whether if she's boxing with a worthy, unworthy Thor, it don't really matter. Thor is always a powerhouse. We're talking about the kind of beings like Thor tier being in general can hit hard enough that their hits are compared to the big bangs. They can hit so hard to where their energy erupts simultaneously across all planes of reality, shake the universe, have shockwaves that go across the whole cosmos, that kind of power. That's why Angela giving Thor tiers problems is such a big deal, or just Asgardians in general. He can still damage Hercules tiers, so same with Hulkish tier type characters. She's constantly boxing with beings that can cause multiversal earthquakes and stuff, like beings that can shake multiple universes or multiple planes of reality, that kind of thing. Let me reiterate, I don't care if you think Thor is superior, that's not the point. The point is, when it comes to base power levels of Thor level beings, she's right there with them. They wouldn't make panels this drawn out this consistently if they was completely different tiers. I want to make it clear that Thor I'm talking about basically is her being on par with like a standard Thor. I'm not talking about where he got like the Odin force. I ain't saying she's on that level. Like, that's ridiculous. It's literally Odin and Thor put together. I'm more so saying she's somewhere in this ballpark based on what I'm talking about, who can punch or strike harder in general, you know, raw power. Heck, Angela herself doesn't even believe she's a Skyfather level like Hela or anything like that because she considers her equal to Odin himself. It's because of these 3 trials, that's what's going to help her get a power up. You could argue a permanent power up, in which allowed her to even be able to hang with Hela. Plus, technically, she had help too, so. How much aura does somebody have where they can box Hell Lord, high-end Hell Lords like Hela themselves? I would like to admit this was like a 2v1 though, so she definitely did not one-on-one Hela, but I still think this is insanity. I would like to add anything she might like in raw strength, she makes up for it in speed, because it's even talked about and implied that she might be quicker than lightning. There's characters she has to compete or fight against that are faster than thought, faster than lightning. Even though they're that fast, they're still not faster than Angela in combat speed. It's confirmed she can keep up in combat speed with Gamora, a character that's too quick for Thanos. Thanos even admitting she's too fast. This is the character that Angela has to compete with beings that move like this, like this, like this. A character that's constantly deflecting light speed stuff, like lasers, or even deflecting blasts from beings that can turn into actual light, like Spectrum. She can blast with actual light. And Gamora can't just speed blitz Angela. So, you know, Angela's combat speed has to be on the light speed range, just like how Gamora's is. Being able to react to lasers and light speed blasts, blitzing beings like a blur, turning invisible. Angela's competing with this speed. She's easily over light speed, combat speed, and reflexes. Thor is somebody that's constantly having to compete against light speed foes. It's consistently stated that she's faster than even Thor in combat speed because, like, she's implying Thor might be stronger, but she's saying she got the speed advantage. She says she believes she's much faster than Thor. Let's look and see occasions of her just jumping in ships and soloing, and the characters notice or talk about how fast she is. I mean, she's fast enough to block lasers, but her ribbons or gear itself can block lasers too, so. Like, this is just straight up absurdity. Like, we literally see her vanish. Like, you see her literally moving like some Dragon Ball Z type characters, like a blur. And just straight up speed blitz you, stab you. Her skin is pretty tough. I mean, a lot of parts of her body doesn't even have armor and she still can eat attacks. All of this because Odin had a long lost daughter, narrated here that she's the firstborn. Also, Thor's sister, she has Asgardian genetics. See, the Asgardians and the angels had a little beef. Odin thought that the angels had murdered his daughter, but that's not exactly what happened. It was revealed that she was basically stolen from Asgard, raised with the angels to be a hunter. Her battling Thor level beings throughout this video makes a lot of sense now, right? It's reiterated here. Angels from another realm took her. All of that is explained here for you about Angela. Stolen from the cradle, raised as an angelic assassin, her ribbons will beat you up. And the same crap is narrated right here, along with her awesome armor. It's no surprise she has a lot of gear. You've seen a lot throughout this video. You see her wearing different armors. Matter of fact, the place where she was raised, they used to tease her about being wingless. You'll even see her wear gear that gives her flight. Seems to be able to float without her wings. Her handbook talks about how she can still fly through unrevealed means. She has like these symbiotic ribbons that are psychically connected to her. That's why she will use it to choke beings. She seems to be able to disrupt force fields, appears to know some kind of teleportation magic or something. Seems to have no problem surviving in space. You probably already know she got longevity, resistance to diseases. She has enhanced senses to allow her to track her prey through scent. You know a Marvel video can't be complete without a temporary power-up. Don't ask. It's when Angela kind of became the queen of hell for a little bit. Yeah, she looks cool as heck. Angela as Hela. Angela as an all-father tier type character is something scary to think about. The funny part is, you can technically say before the Hela power-up, she was already a powerhouse that can shake multiple galaxies along with the other powerhouses in Marvel, but it gets worse when she actually straight up becomes Hela. Hela, alongside with the other Hell Lords like Mephisto, can easily destroy universe just from the clatter of their fight. They can match each other, their other Hell Lords. Marvel Hell Lords be legit having meetings with each other. Mephisto, Hela, Blackheart, Satanish, you know, just to give you an idea of the Hell Lords in general. For example, Mephisto and Satanish, them two just simply blasting or battling each other was producing so much energy that If they wasn't careful, the dimension would end up being psychic shreds. This energy would leak over from the Mephisto realm all the way to the earthly plane. So technically the dimension they was fighting in is technically 3 dimensions or universes they was battling. These are what Hellords can do. The energy was overflowing and started to spill over into Mephisto's realm and onto the earthly plane. So 3 different universes were in danger. Just from 2 Hellord beings like Hela, just from 2 Hellord beings like Mephisto and Satanish fighting, and Mephisto and Hela are a threat to one another. Angela had power being Hela like this. Never let 2 Hellords fight each other. Don't put Angela in versus debates when she's like this. She basically got the power for 2 seconds, freed everybody, and forgave some sins, pardoned some crimes, and then said, I don't need this power anymore. And she gave up this power. This was probably the shortest temporary power-up of all time, which is actually insane to think about. Yep, so back to the drawing board. She can use bows and arrows. She's like using swords, axes, you name it. It's scary to think about that you got a warrior this amazing that has gear that's like liquid metal that can shape or turn into any bladed weapon she wants. On top of the fact she's absurdly skilled at fighting. I'm talking about at hand-to-hand combat and an expert with any bladed weapon. Highly skilled hunter, soldier, whatever. Oh, it was actually stated that Angela was the best of all the angels. Said here that Angela is the best of us. She's known for assassinating. She takes pride in her swordsmanship. That's why you see her cleaning her blade. That's why we see her fighting along or against the Guardians on occasion. It's a breath of fresh air to see characters this strong that are actually straight up fighters, like full-blown swordsmen. She is. That's why you see her solo armies. And that's why you will see in combat where she will even throw her gear at times. She'll use 2 different kind of blades at the same time. Even if one is a long sword and one is like a shorter knife type weapon, she will mix it up, even throw it if she has to on top of her ribbons. You know, versatility. I want to hear what you guys think. Would you expect any less from Thor's sister? Just like many Marvel powerhouses I've talked about, she's an extremely high-end heavyweight. Any main Asgardian tier type characters her muscles can clash with. Before I get going, everybody, like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thanks for the donations. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.